Like you said, I'm from right up the road in Millmont, 36 years old, graduated from Mifflinburg. Went to church here, but at a young age, I really didn't go to church much. And when I did, it was really just because my parents probably made me. And then later on in life, really, it was probably to please a girl I was talking to go to like a Christmas service or an Easter service or something I felt like I should go to, not something I really wanted to go to. So at a young age, I really had no relationship with Christ, and I grew up a little overweight, which really, it was more in my eyes than anybody else's eyes. And it got to the point where I really wasn't happy with myself. My self-esteem was just, when I looked in that mirror, I really didn't want to look in that mirror anymore. I was a bigger kid, played sports. At one point in life, I was bigger than most kids. Kids would get hurt, and, while I was playing, and parents would get mad. And just kind of that rejection of, like, almost feeling like I shouldn't play because I was good, and I didn't, they didn't want me to be there because I was hurting other kids, and it was just that on top of other things in my self-worth and, things I never realized, led me down a dark path. I became a follower. I had friends that were into drugs, and I was like, drugs, no, I'm not going to do that. And then I had friends that were drinking, and I was like, no, that's not really what I want to do. But I found myself alone. I had all the love in the world at home, but that wasn't enough for me. I wanted acceptance from my friends. And they started going down paths of drugs and alcohol, and I'm like, no, until, like I said, I found myself alone, and I'm like, well, it's either be alone or follow the crowd. And I did. I followed the crowd. Drinking at a young age, like I said, I was into sports, and for me, sports and drinking went hand in hand because after a game, that's what we did. It was like the persona of, like, when you turn 21, you're supposed to go to a bar. That's a made-up persona. I don't think there's any rule out there that you have to do something like that. But that's the path I led down, and it led me to a 10-plus year heroin addiction, IV, and multiple overdoses and multiple trouble, and just finding that worth that, I couldn't find. I was very shy. I remember hiding behind my mom in the grocery store when I was younger. I didn't want to talk to people. You put me in front of people, I was like, no. And when I got older, that's what I used drugs and alcohol for. Was to be able to be social. I wanted to be able to talk to people. I wanted to be able to be comfortable in my own skin enough that I could say hello to somebody. And drugs and alcohol did that for me. I couldn't do that for myself. So I turned that road. I remember being a senior in high school and, like I said, was good in sports and had some things going for me. And, we got in trouble in school and underage party. I wasn't there, but got accused of being there. So I said, the heck with the coaches. They think I'm doing something. I'm really not. And, when it was time for scholarships, the coach was like, oh, he's a bad egg. And it just kind of like, I gave up. I quit my very first sport ever when I was a senior. I quit the baseball team, and from then on, it was like a downhill spiral. I didn't go to the college I wanted to because they wanted to make me go to summer school. And I'm like, no, I want another year with my friends. I want another summer with my friends. I wanted to hang out. And it just led me to a community college, and I dropped out of there. And, the first time I gave up on myself, I started giving up on myself a lot. And like I said, it led to a 10-plus year IV heroin addiction, seven overdoses. A dark path. I hurt everyone around me, and I didn't think I was. When I was using, I was like, what does it matter if I kill myself? I'm not affecting anybody else in this world. It's only me. But really, I realized once I got clean that it hurt everyone around me except me. It really did. It hurt my family. It hurt friends, people I stole from, people I lied to. And I remember I got caught in some trouble when I was in jail, and, Pastor Eric actually came and saw me. I didn't even know who he was. He came in, he's like, oh, I'm the pastor of your parents' church. And, he was talking to me, and, I couldn't even like not cry. I was just so broken. I couldn't even deal with myself. And he's like, I'm just going to describe this to you like this. Your life's like a bowl full of oil. He's like, if you keep putting clean water in that bowl, the oil will eventually be gone. And if you keep clean water in that bowl forever, there'll be no more oil that can ever get in there. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, you need to fill your life with good things. Church. Not just church, but just like good things that you like to do, like working out and like playing sports and just all those good things in your life to keep you where you need to be. And after he left, I had gotten offered a program called Teen Challenge, and it was either that or a state sentence. And I said, well, how long is this program? They tried to tell me 14 months. I said, listen, I'm only getting like a year upstate. I'm not trying to go to a Christian program. It's 14 months. They're going to tell me what to do every day. I was just still stuck in my mess. I'd been sitting in jail for 4 months, wanted to get out, but I didn't want to do anything to get out, And through some influences in jail and some people I ran into, only by the grace of God, I was in a jail cell where, like, no one opened the Bible. No one did any of this stuff, and we had one guy come in that went to pastoral school, and I'm just like, what's this guy all about? And all of a sudden, in like 2 weeks, the whole jail was reading the Bible, and we were doing Bible studies at night, and I'm like, what is this whole wave? And this is right after I got, offered Teen Challenge, and I was like, let me think about this. And this whole wave just came over the jail, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, and still that wasn't enough. That wasn't enough. That wasn't enough for me, and I kept weighing my options, and I'm like, well, let me try this Teen Challenge thing, and it's a 14-month program, faith-based, 4 months in an induction center, and then 10 months in like a training center in Raresburg, which is near Reading. And, they told me I was going to have to do skits and testimonies in front of people, sing in choir. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. There's no way. I don't even like talking to anybody in the public, let alone I use drugs and alcohol to be able to do stuff like that. How am I going to do this? So there's no way. I'm not doing that. I'm just going to go through here because I don't want to go to jail anymore. Because now I've heard some stuff, and I really doesn't look too good to me. I'm like, I'm just going to do the bare minimum. I'll get out of there, and things will be all right. And, I walked through that door, and I was just like, oh, my gosh, like, what is this place? They made me shave my beard. Like, I had to make my bed. Like, and I'm 30-some years old and, pretty spoiled by my mother. And I'm like, so now I got to do stuff for myself. I got to make my bed every morning? Are you serious? I got to keep my face shaved or I'm going to get in trouble? And I'm just like, this place is nuts. But you know what? Like, I had a pastor come in to me one morning, and, he's like, are you ready to give your life to Christ? I'm like, I don't even know what that's like. He's like, do you want to change your life? And I said, I'm just so sick of doing what I'm doing. I used for so many years and chased that high and chased that feeling normal for me for so many years. I didn't even know what normal was anymore. I had no clue. And he's like, do you want to give your life to Christ? And, we cried together, and I'm just like, man, I just don't want to do this anymore. And he goes, well, you need to tell God you don't want to do this and you need his help. And I gave my life to Christ on December of 2012. And, it was amazing, but it wasn't enough for me still. I was like, I can't even see this guy. You tell me to pray to him, and, I was talking to Rich earlier, I chased a drug that I didn't even know what that drug was from someone I didn't even know and trusted that he was giving me the right stuff. But I can't even trust the God that wants to help me. And I battled with that in my head for so long. Like, how can I not trust him when I could trust so many things in the world? Like, it was so confusing in my head, and I couldn't understand the Bible. I'm just like, oh, I can't understand this. They're like, pray. I'm like, okay. The car breaks down. They're like, pray. I'm like, come on. Like, is this really going to work? And like I said, there's 4 months you do it in an induction center, which was in Philadelphia. And then they transferred you to another place. And, God really came down and hit me. I was just getting ready to transfer to the new place, and I was getting ready to leave. And 2 days before I left, we were praying for a kid that, his family had restraining orders against him. He couldn't talk to his family, wasn't allowed to him. We were just praying that a family may come in and show love to him and everything like that. And in Teen Challenge on Wednesdays, they have their discipline board. And usually a student has to watch the phones. And they asked me to watch the phones. And mind you, earlier that morning, they didn't give me something I wanted, so no, I'm not watching your phones for you. And they're like, you're going to watch the phones, you're not going to go to the next phase. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like I said, we just prayed for this guy. 2 hours later, this woman calls. She's like, oh, I'd like to talk to my son. I'm like, well, you'll have to wait till after the meeting. We have a counseling, they're having a counseling meeting. And she's like, no, I want to talk to my son. I haven't talked to him in a year and a half, and I'd like to talk to my son. I'm like, who are you? And she said her name. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, this kid's mom called, and she said, we lifted all the restraining orders. We'd like to talk to our son. We've had a heart change, and we know he's doing well, and we'd like to talk to him. And, it was almost like God reached down, smacked me in the face, and said, how dare you ever not put faith in me? How dare you ever doubt me? I'm going to take care of you. Because I was praying for something, some miracle to happen that just showed me that you're real, and that happened. I transferred to the mountain, and, I did my 14-month program, and, never got in trouble or anything like that. And I signed on to work for him. And this was back I graduated in December of 2013, and worked for him for 3 months and decided to leave. And it wasn't my plan. I planned on staying there the rest of my life because I liked it there. With other people that were just like me, and everyone understood me. And I left for some not so smart reasons, and 6 months later, there I am again, right back in my addiction, full force. Overdosed 3 more times in the next over a couple of years, and in February 2016, I think it was, or 15, I was in a bad car accident. I hit a brick wall at about 70 miles an hour and broke my shoulder completely off. And and this time I was trying to get back to Teen Challenge, and my probation officer's like, "No, we can't send you back there. It's just we're not doing that. Let's try some other stuff." And he didn't want to do it. And I got in this car accident, and right back to my addiction I went more. And finally he's like, "Brian, you need to go back." And I said, "I've been begging to go back." He goes, "What do you want to do?" I said, "Put me in jail." I said, "Put me in jail until I can go back, because if not, I'm going to go back out and use, and I'm going to die. I need to go. Put me in jail where I'm safe." And which later on helped me out. The judge is like, "Absolutely, we'll send him back." He didn't want to go back to the streets. And so I went back to Teen Challenge in Philadelphia. It's called a restoration program, and it was 3 to 6 months long. And I did the 3 months and, decided to stay on and work for them. And, I've been running their thrift store for the past 4 months, which is new to me. Customer service is not easy, which I thought used to be. It is not easy. Not in Germantown, Philadelphia, I promise you that. And, I have some bad days, but, man, loving on those guys down there, I understand everything they go through, and sometimes my passion gets in the way because I get a little rude to them, and I'm like, "Listen, I don't want you to go back out and die again like I had to. I want you to get all this stuff in this program." God's been so good to me. I was just, a month ago, Rich asked me a little while ago to speak here, and, like, what am I going to talk about? And obviously you can tell I'm a little long-winded now that, God's got some stuff in me. But not too long ago, this is how good God is, man. The first time I went through, I signed up to go to school to become a counselor, and, I bailed out. God just opened up a door, and they just offered me an assistant counseling job. They told me I can go back to school, and they're going to have me as paid staff. And I'm just like, "You got to be kidding me." Like, he reached down and just cuddled me and was like, "Here you go, man. I'm going to give you what you need. You've been such a good servant." And there's promises out there. There's promises in that Bible if we are faithful. It's just an amazing place. I wouldn't be able to stay clean if I'm not helping someone. I'm 36 years old. I know myself by now. For a long time, I could miscue my mind. I could not. I could talk myself into anything. And like I said, I'm down there loving on these guys. We have exciting things happening in Teen Challenge right now. I'll tell you a little bit about the program. It's 12 to 14 months long. Women's House, 12 months long. Men's House, 14 months long. We just opened up a clinical detox, which is the first in Teen Challenge history. We opened up a 30-day program, which is called Concept 80. What was happening is we were only taking 20% of our callers because no one wanted to do a 14-month program. They're like, "You're crazy." So they would go to secular programs, and we would never even get to the gospel to them. But now we have a 30-day program, and 60% of those 30-day people are going into the long-term program. And it's a miracle. It is a miracle on its own. They never expect it. We've had hundreds of people that have signed up for the 30-day program. We put them so close to the long-term program. They see the joy in those people's hearts of being clean and everything like that, and they want that. So they're signing on this long-term program, and, we're reaching those 80%. Are we bringing people to Christ? We may not be, but we're planting seeds. You know what I mean? We really are. And, we never would have reached those 80% if they wouldn't have, someone in higher up was like, "We need to do this. We need to open up this program." It goes against our 14-month program, but still, we would never reach this 80% if we did not open this 30-day program. Same thing with detox. We have preachers calling. We have people in our congregation sick, and they don't want to go to they don't want to go to a program sick. And we would have to say, "Send them to a secular program," and then we'll take them afterwards. And then we lose them. They never, once they start feeling better, we never have a chance to get Christ to them. So we opened up a clinical detox, which we're reaching more people than ever, and it's really awesome. I wouldn't have any of this without the Lord. I wouldn't have any of this without the people behind me. I have great people in my life. Obviously, I don't have to use drugs and alcohol to talk to people anymore because I've probably been gone for 15 minutes now, and I could probably go for another 2 hours. But, you know, God's relieved me of a lot of things. I have struggles. I'm in a drug-crazed Philadelphia area, and it's a miracle every day that I don't walk out there and use drugs. It really is. And there's so many people out there that need help. If you know anybody that needs help, I have flyers. Get with me. We do not deny anybody for money. You do not need any money for this program. We find funds for you. We talk to churches to get you in this program. We don't deny anybody. So if anybody, you know anybody that needs help, get with me. Thanks for having me.